Manelli, number 40, Christian Rodin.
Now's your chance to score a touchdown with Varsity Media's ISO video. Video footage that focuses on your athlete only. Perfect for recruiting reels. Spots are limited, so reach out today. Email jeff@varsitymedia.net to book your next ISO video with Varsity Media. Parents, your support means everything to your athletes and to us at Varsity Media. To help us continue bringing you the best YouTube coverage of high school sports on Long Island, we invite business owners to consider a sponsorship on our broadcasts. If you own a business, consider a sponsorship for your athlete's team. It's a great way to show support, gain visibility, and keep the coverage going strong. Join us in making a difference. Contact Varsity Media today to learn more about broadcast sponsorship opportunities by emailing ben@varsitymedia.net.
so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare goes on bursting.
But now they got to try to win their 65th game in a row without their best player. He's arguably the best player on defense, on special teams, and of course he is on offense. But Garden City is Garden City, and there are plenty of guys that are ready to fill the void for Anthony Asaro on both sides of the ball and on special teams.
As Asaro has accounted for 20 touchdowns this season, 17 on the ground, 3 through the air. As Tom mentioned, he is also a heck of a defensive player, so they're going to have to make do without one of the most prolific weapons in Nassau County. And that brings us to the impact players of the game. But before we get to that, let's take a look at the bracket here. You see, this is the 1-3 matchup. Garden City shut out East Meadow. They've actually silenced each of their last 3 opponents. And then Long Beach rallied past Mepham 27-13. That game was scoreless at the break before Long Beach took care of business in the second half. So that is going to bring us to the impact players of the game. And let's first look at what Long Beach is going to present in this contest as they are going to try to solve Garden City. It starts with Brody Rydell, over 1,000 yards on the ground for him with 15 touchdowns. He also has added 5 through the air, a dynamic weapon. And then on defense, it's Danilo Correa, their free safety, who has a team-high 56 tackles, 4 interceptions. He has been extremely opportunistic over the course of this season. On Garden City's side, they are going to have to mix and match some personnel. Owen Anderson, who leads the team in tackles on defense, 32, 5 for loss. He's going to get a look at fullback, may get some additional carries. And then, of course, it's Merritt Ruck, their leading receiver, with 4 touchdowns. He also has run for 4 on the ground. So, Tom, we may see him actually as a running back in this contest in the absence of Asaro.
I think you're going to see a lot of Ruck in those roles that Asaro had previously been in. Ruck is super talented. He's a great athlete, runs with exceptional speed and athleticism. And Owen Anderson has been a force on defense, and we'll probably see him a little bit more in the backfield, maybe some 2-back, and Anderson leads through for Ruck. And the Garden City staff kind of knew this for a while, so I expect them to be prepared and be really multiple on offense today. Don't be surprised if quarterback Braden Robertiello has a big game on the ground and in the air.
So Long Beach won the toss, elected to defer. This is the tale of the tape between both of these teams, and you look at what Garden City has put together. It's just remarkable. These numbers are quite impressive, and that 64 right at the bottom in terms of the win streak. They're going for 65. 64 is already a new state record as they broke the mark set by Maine Enwell of Binghamton, which had 62 consecutive wins between 2011 and 15. Let's run you through the keys to the game. And Tom, we spoke with both coaches, and this is what they had to say.
Yeah, for Long Beach, Garden City is a team that loves to run the ball. They love to dictate the clock and field position, but they also have a big bag of tricks. We saw one last week with a hook and ladder against East Meadow for a touchdown, right? And then they need to set up Brody Rydell by being able to pass the ball. Charlie Conway has had an excellent year. He's a very good quarterback. They're going to set up the run by passing the ball with Conway.
As Conway and Rydell have connected for plenty of big plays over the course of this season. And we see that Long Beach is the type of team that is going to have to continually put points on the board. And Garden City and Long Beach ready to take the field here for the opening kickoff. And we want to thank our title sponsor, Edge Remodeling. Mad Men Player of the Game will be coming up immediately after the contest, so stay tuned for that. As Long Beach kicking off here to start the game as they won the toss and elected to defer. It is going to be Nick Amantea, the senior kicker. And Garden City will look to set up its offense with some great field positioning, as they will look to set the tone early in this contest. And we'll see Merritt Ruck and Coastal Walsh in the mix on the return. And Long Beach able to hustle down the field. So right around the 30-yard line is where the Trojans' offense will come out to start this Conference 2 County Championship game, and we're going to get the first glimpse of their scheme without, of course, Anthony Asaro.
Yeah, Garden City's super multiple on offense. You're going to see them in the spread, but you'll also see them in double tight power I. They go old school. And it'll be interesting to see without Asaro how many times they put the ball in Braden Robertiello's hands. He's an excellent runner. He can throw the ball. Coach said to us this week, he's a better passer than people realize.
As we look at Robertiello's numbers on the season, the junior quarterback who has thrown for 11 against 2 interceptions. He's also run for 11 as well. So he's a dual threat. And they're going to come out with a quarterback keeper as he looks to get towards the left edge, and he's going to cross the 40-yard line for a good start right near that first down marker for Garden City.
Yeah, and if you're Garden City, you know, Robertiello is more than capable of running the ball. You always want to be careful about running your quarterback too much, but he's a tough kid. He's a Division I lacrosse commit, a Fogo, so we know he's tough, right? But you come out right away and you see them go spread. They give you a little motion with Chase Krause there in motion. They make your eyes constantly find players with their offensive sets.
We take a look at their starting offense. You got Merrick Ruck in the backfield. We talked about this off the top, so he's going to replace Asaro. And off the right side, he's going to inch closer to that first down marker, and based on the spot, they're going to move the chains for a fresh set of downs.
Yeah, they go double tight there, and Ruck is one of those guys who does a great job of finding seams and finding the little cracks in the defense.
And Ruck has spelled Asaro in the backfield even when Asaro was healthy. So this is nothing necessarily new for Dave Ettinger, the head coach and company, as Ruck is going to be playing lacrosse at the University of Tampa, as well as a number of his teammates who are going to go across the collegiate landscape as they put a man in motion here in Chase Krause. And they're going to fake the handoff to Ruck. Robertiello's going to keep it, and off the right side, he's tripped up just shy of midfield, but another nice quarterback run here on this opening drive.
Yeah, you can see a good look there at Robertiello. They used Krause as the lead back coming off the motion. He's almost acting as a fullback right there with that motion. And listen, whenever you get 4 to 5 yards on first down, this opens up the playbook. You're at midfield, you're at 2nd and 5. It's a great spot for the Garden City offense.
Long Beach and Garden City collided in the very first game of the regular season, and it was a 31-16 victory for the Trojans as they'll pitch it to the outside. Ruck looking for an opening, and he's going to be bottled up. A really nice job by Gavin Vicente, their defensive end for Long Beach, to wrap up Ruck and prevent him from getting through that hole.
Yeah, we're talking about the Garden City offense, but this Long Beach defense runs to the ball really well. This secondary led by Correa, you have Burns and Juan on the outside there, and these guys really get to the ball, and that was a good example of it.
We look at their starting defense as it'll be a 3rd and 6 here for the Trojans. Coming off a 48-0 win over East Meadow in the semis. It was 28-0 at the half. Robertiello, he's going to dump it off to Ruck, and Ruck is past that first down marker to move the chains yet again.
Yeah, nice play design here. They go twins to the outside. Wide open in the flats, just an easy pitch and catch.
That was Brody Juan, their strong safety, who tackled Ruck as he was heading out of play. Juan real strong, a big hitter and a great tackler for the Marines. And Scott Martin's team looking to slow down this Garden City offense. So they come out here in the I formation, as Owen Anderson is their fullback, and flags come in from every angle of Hofstra University. And it's going to be a false start, so that'll back up the Trojans 5 yards.
And if you're Long Beach, this is exactly what you need. You need to kind of slow this down. You know, Garden City is death by 1,000 paper cuts, right? Like 4 yards, 5 yards. So this puts them behind the sticks now. It changes the play call. If you're Garden City, this is probably the sixth different formation that they have shown. They're so multiple in their offense.
So they come out of the I formation once again. Robertiello is going to throw over the middle, and that is going to be a completion right near the first down marker to Mark Escher, the sophomore tight end, who's done a really nice job picking up the scheme, as he is somebody that's going to be filling in for Asaro on defense, but making his presence felt on the offensive side, 1 yard shy of the first down marker.
Leading a perfect hit to number 89.
Find the tight end coming across the middle there. Nice play design. Nice job by Robertiello getting him the ball.
Yeah, you might want to pull out just a touch.
So 2nd and 1 here. And they're going to fake the handoff. Robertiello's going to take a shot down the field, and it's broken up, incomplete. Danilo Correa was able to put his right hand up to prevent Ruck from hauling it in.
Yeah, that looked like it had a chance there. Great play action you see here. You see Correa reads the quarterback behind.
Robertiello looks upfield to American Ruck.
And you feel like he's always around the line of scrimmage. But he lines up 12 yards deep, and he is reading the quarterback, and that's a great job by him of staying home and not allowing the big play.
Christian Capria, their linebacker, also in the vicinity. So it's now a 3rd and 1, and they're going to hand the ball off, and this will be good enough for a first down, as this time they give it to their fullback, Owen Anderson, for his 8th carry of the season.
Yeah, you see, they fullback going back to the left, and then that's just a little bit of determination there by Owen Anderson, driving the legs, carrying the defender for a first down.
Anderson did not get a carry in last week's semifinal game against East Meadow, but he has taken advantage of his few opportunities, only averaging 22 yards per carry. That may going to bring it down a little bit, but something tells me he's going to be okay under the circumstances. As now he'll line up in that fullback position, and they're going to give it to Ruck off the right side. He's going to cut back, and Ruck is still on his feet as he's brought down just shy of the 20-yard line. A nice run on first down.
Yeah, love the vision here by Ruck. Nice hole, but when he gets into the hole, he's able to pop out to his left. He sees an opening and pick up that extra 2-3 yards to put them in a really good 2nd and 3rd situation.
And this was one of the things that Scott Martin, the head coach of Long Beach, talked about. They've got to stop the run, Tom, because they can't keep putting them in the 2nd and 3rd favorable downs and distances. As they're going to pitch it out to Ruck. He's got the edge off the right side, looking for a cutback lane. There's the first down, and then some, as Garden City will once again move the chains, and they are knocking on the door here in the red zone.
Yeah, this is what they do, right? It's 5 yards, it's 6 yards. You know, they just keep chipping away. Very few mistakes, excellent blocking out there. Some stall blocks, and then a nice few extra yards.
Capria was the one that wrapped up Ruck, but Ruck was still using his momentum to push forward.
Watch quarterback draw here. They got Long Beach spread out.
And Robertiello is going to fake the handoff. He's going to take it up the middle. He's got an angle. He dives for the end zone. And that is an opening drive touchdown for their quarterback with his 12th rushing score of the season. And the team riding a 64-game winning streak strikes first with a 6-0 touchdown.
They had some slugs coming a mile away. You know, they spread them out with 4 wide, and it's a great spot for Robertiello. It's really good in the open field there.
So Robertiello came in averaging 14 yards per run, and he shows why with his legs. His Garden City now will turn to Chris Desiderio to kick the extra point. He's 95% on the season. And this one's going to be blocked. A great job by Long Beach's defense and special teams. Zach Silva, their cornerback, came in and got a piece of it, so that's going to keep the game 6-0 here with just under 6 minutes to go in quarter number 1.
And I think for Long Beach, maybe that lessens the blow a little bit. You know, you kind of got driven right down the field on. But if you come back here and score a touchdown, you can take the lead, right? So this is, in these championship games, we've seen this a lot. Guys from Farmingdale out there are probably smiling, or not probably smiling, probably upset. Yeah, extra points can come back and haunt you, right? You want to make sure you get them up on the board.
So Braden Robertiello able to get in with his legs, but they're not able to tack on the extra point. It'll stay 6-0, and Garden City now kicking off to Long Beach, which is going to look to respond as the running game dictating the tone for the Trojans. And they have not missed a beat, Tom, without Asaro. Merritt Ruck and Owen Anderson and the quarterback, those three helping to fill the void.
No, that's a great drive. And it's funny, I didn't think about Anthony Asaro once during that drive because they were so effective. Did not miss a beat. And listen, that opening drive is often scripted and you kind of know what you're going to run. We'll see as the game goes on if they're able to continue to be that effective without Asaro.
As we look at some of the special teams members for Garden City, this is Desiderio, who had his extra point blocked, kicking off. And Long Beach is going to look to help the cause of its offense as they are going to start across the 25-yard line. That was Jerron Burns, the junior, who had a kickoff return for 25 yards in last week's semifinal victory over Mepham. As this is the Section 8 Nassau County Conference 2 championship game between number 3 seed Long Beach, top seed Garden City, presented by Edge Remodeling. Alongside Tom Rooney, I'm Lance Meadow. Thanks so much for tuning in here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Opening touchdown drive for the Trojans. And now the Marines looking to respond following the return from Burns, who they now send out wide. And here is Charlie Conway. He's going to throw a strike over the middle, and that is going to be good for a first down. So the Marines not wasting any time as they are able to throw a beautiful pass here, as we see that was hauled in by Brody Wan, their junior wideout.
Yeah, really nice job by Conway there, throwing it into that tight window between two defenders. But that's what we were told Long Beach was going to do. They needed to come out, throw the ball early, and kind of back these linebackers up, who the Garden City linebackers love to just, kind of shoot gaps and go right away. So soften them up with the pass.
122nd completion for Conway. He already set the single season mark. He broke his brother's record, and there is another completion nearly in the same spot. He goes back to Juan, back-to-back targets, successful for first down markers moving, and they are in Garden City territory.
Really nice job. Watch Conway here. He's going through his progression. He looked at 3 different
Conway.
He settles on that's being a senior and being really composed back there and understanding I have time, guys will get open, and Brody Wan does a really nice job of settling in there and snagging that ball.
We look at the offense for Long Beach. We have not seen Rydell get a touch yet. He is their explosive playmaker. They fake the handoff to him. Conway now is going to look to extend this play. He's got Burns wide open in the flat, and Burns is off to the races with a flag coming in as he's taken down just shy of the 30-yard line, and a lot of laundry back towards the backfield.
Yeah, the broken play. They were trying to go screen back to Rydell. You said they had, Rydell didn't get a carry. I thought he'd get involved in the passing game eventually. They tried. Garden City did a great job of reading it. Conway extended the play, and often when that happens, you get illegal men downfield, you get holdings, and I think we might have had, a block in the back in there too. There was a lot of flags.
The whole 9 yards, essentially.
Yeah, everybody got one.
Yes. So that'll back up Long Beach into their own territory at the 49-yard line. And it is going to be 2nd and 13. We look at their offensive line. This is a group with 3 juniors and 2 seniors, and they're going to block for this man, Rydell, who spins across the 45-yard line and earns back a lot of the yardage they just lost.
Yeah, great job. He is tough to find. Behind the line, he's not the biggest guy, very powerfully built. You see him get in there. This is where he does a lot of his damage between the tackles. He's got the speed and athleticism to go outside. He's really good at finding those cracks and those seams from tackle to tackle.
He had 196 rushing yards and 4 touchdowns in the semifinal win over Mepham. He also added 2 receptions for 12 yards. He could do it all. Conway towards the sideline, a dangerous pass, and it is somehow going to be caught as the tie goes to the receiver because both of those players got tangled up. As we're going to take another look here.
Yeah, this was really, really close. Conway throws this ball. Oh, what a break on the ball.
Well, that was Zach Silva, number 1, who was able to haul it in. Yeah, and he was locked up with Coastal Walsh, who nearly recorded an interception. Thankfully, Silva had to turn into a defensive back and make a play on the ball or at least help break it up.
When you're going for the upset, Lance, right, those are the plays that you have to make, right? 50-50 ball, you got to rip it out and you got to come up with it. Keeps this drive alive.
And we're going to have a pre-snap penalty here as flags come in flying. It's going to be a false start, so that's the second penalty, Tom, already. And these are the types of things you can't afford to do when you're trying to match wits with Garden City.
Lance, they had a couple of these last week, and I thought to myself, you got away with it, you can't do it again. You know, you can't keep putting yourself behind the sticks in these 1st and longs.
So now, 15 yards they've got to make up for as Rydell makes one guy miss and then is brought down at the 40 as Garden City did a really nice job gang tackling him after the initial juke move.
Yeah, good penetration by the D-line here, which is going to make Rydell come off his line. And then there you see Owen Anderson come flying in.
Brody Rydell.
That's a great job by the Garden City defense.
An example as to why Anderson leads the team in tackles. Dave Ettinger calls him a tough, hard-nosed, old-school football player, and you can tell why. As they were fortunate to get 3 yards on that. Conway, play action here. He's got all the time in the world before the pocket breaks down, and now he's in no man's land and is going to be brought down and sacked. Garden City with a statement thanks to Luke Agrippina, their junior nose tackle, with his first sack of the season.
Yeah, just a really good job by the Garden City D-line, just not giving up. Relentless pursuit.
Caught in the backfield. Wrestled down by 75.
And it was just one more guy for Long Beach to block. They weren't ready for it. Those were deep routes, and Conway was trying to wait for something to develop, and he just held it a little bit too long there.
So 2 penalties on this drive. Now you throw in a sack. That's 3 negative plays, and all of a sudden they're facing a 3rd and 27 back at the 49-yard line in their own territory.
Yeah, and I think if you're Long Beach, you got to be smart here. You have a chance to maybe flip the field and pin them deep. So you don't want to, get a turnover here. Smart football.
Conway is going to try to step up here in the pocket, and he's going to have to take off himself as he looks to salvage this play as he gets across the 45-yard line, but well short of the first down marker as Garden City's defense swarming to the quarterback once again.
Yeah, that time much better on their coverage. Conway does a good job.
Conway
Like I said, right now it's 6-0. Try to pin them deep, see what you can get. I don't think Long Beach is going to go for it here. They're staying with their offense on the field. I'm wondering if they're just going to quick kick this with Conway and not allow a return.
Also, the final seconds of the first quarter ticking away, and that's probably another reason why they're keeping the offense on.
There you go.
An opportunity for them to think things over with 1 quarter in the books, and Garden City finishes its opening drive with a quarterback rushing touchdown as they take an early 6-0 lead over Long Beach at Hofstra University in the Conference 2 championship game, as we'll step aside from Hempstead, New York on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Help keep Varsity Media's broadcasts free on YouTube by considering an advertising sponsorship. Our coverage of local games helps local businesses get visibility in the community. To learn more about our sponsorship packages and rates, email Ben at varsitymedia.net. Now's your chance to score a touchdown with Varsity Media's ISO video. Video footage that focuses on your athlete only. Perfect for recruiting reels. Spots are limited, so reach out today. Email jeff@varsitymedia.net to book your next ISO video with Varsity.
As we are in the midst of the start of the second quarter between Garden City as well as Long Beach in the Conference 2 championship game. And we want to thank our title sponsor, Edge Remodeling, Inc. has provided exceptional general contractor services in Franklin Square, New York for several years. Owner and Sewanaka graduate Eddie Marquez prides himself on satisfying customers by extending affordable, high-quality, and professional services to make your remodeling dreams come true. You can call today for consultation, 516-860-8630, as Long Beach ultimately decided to punt. They kept their offense out since there was only 5 seconds to go, and Garden City is going to take over just across the 25-yard line between the 26 and the 27. And priority number one here, Tom, is for this Long Beach defense to shore up their run defense and try to get Garden City in some unfavorable downs and distances.
Yeah, Garden City did a great job on the first drive of showing multiple formations and then using Ruck, using Anderson, using Robertiello to just carve out 5, 6, 7 yards at a clip and just march the ball down the field. You're right. You got to find a way to stop the run right here.
So they come out of that I formation once again. And they're going to fake the handoff, and he's going to go across the field as they set up a screen here for Ruck, who's got wide open space. He's going to cut back and reverse and try to take an angle towards the end zone. Merrick Ruck still on his feet, and Ruck is going to be brought down in the end zone for a touchdown. A game-changing play on an opposite field screen, and the man filling in for Anthony Asaro takes it to the house. And it's 12-0 Garden City.
Lance, this is incredible play design. They'll do a little bootleg. I mean, they have everybody in Long Beach. And the only guy out there looking right now is picked up right away. Ruck, look at this cutback. I mean, this is incredible. Saquon Barkley back across the field. Just finds a way to get in the end zone here. I mean, what a play by Garden City.
Hands are up. For the
And that is how quickly a game can change. You get 2 penalties and you give up a sack. You've got a punt. You give it back to their explosive offense. And just like that, one play, they get into the end zone once again as Desiderio will come out to kick the extra point. His first attempt was blocked by Silva. And that was his 3rd miss of the season. And this one is up and through to make it 13-0 in favor of the number 1 seed in Conference 2. And let's take another look at this beautiful design play.
Yeah, look at this combo. You got 3 guys out there. I mean, there's nobody from Long Beach within 20 yards. And then the rest is what? Great vision. Look at these guys downfield. Baker, I mean, guys,
hands are up.
Tremendous play.
As Brody Wan chased him down and was able to make the tackle, but a little too late. We want to remind you that with this pause in the action, Varsity Media reminds parents, coaches, and booster clubs, if you'd like to cover any of your family and friends events, you can order by having a Varsity Media Sportscast. And you can email Ben at varsitymedia.net. And 516-403-2050 is the telephone number.
Lance, we're trying to get the word out there. You know, any team can reach out to Ben and get a Varsity Media broadcast. And I'm surprised that more booster clubs and more athletic directors aren't reaching out to Ben. It's an unbelievable experience for the kids when you bring in the broadcasters, having a Lance Meadow or a Dylan Butler, you know, do the game. It's something that the kids have forever.
And with wrestling and basketball and hockey season coming up, more of a reason to be able to showcase the student body who takes part in those sports. With football season wrapping up, it'll be the 30-yard line as the starting field positioning here for Long Beach.
Yeah, and if you're Long Beach, this feels like a big drive right now, Lance, right? You know, you drove the ball down the field and you kind of shot yourself in the foot with penalties and then a sack, but you proved you can move the ball. Now you got to move the ball and you got to get points on the board. The way this Garden City offense is clicking right now, you cannot leave this drive empty.
The Marines put up 27 points in their last game. That was the semifinal victory. Only managed 16 in the regular season game. And mishaps came back to plague them as they put Silva in motion. Conway is going to take a shot towards the right side, and that is going to be incomplete as it was intended for his leading receiver who had 42 receptions coming in, and that is Zach Silva.
Yeah, Silva's excellent receiver. I mean, that's a ton of catches for a high school, wide out. This ball just kind of hung up there a little long, and nice job by Will Matisse there closing on it.
Matisse committed to play lacrosse at Holy Cross, as he has been opportunistic this season. 2 interceptions in there. He was able to force the incompletion intended for Silva, who had 2 receptions for 31 yards in the semifinal victory. And they're going to give it to Rydell, and Rydell, with a bunch of steam, is going to get up the right sideline for a first down as he crosses midfield and enters Garden City territory.
So maybe Long Beach set up did enough passing to set up the run. I mean, listen, this is your guy. You got to get him the ball. I thought we might see him in Wildcat, but, at some point, it doesn't matter if they know it's coming. The explosiveness on this run, and this is back to the other pass play, but the explosiveness that Rydell hits the hole with is really something special.
Well, and we were talking with Scott Martin earlier this week, and the point that you just brought up, he said it's going to be the reverse. The run is not going to set up the pass. It's going to be trying to loosen up their front through the air, and even though they got an incompletion, they at least need to respect Conway's arm and his decision-making.
Yep, and now they're set up on the other side of the 50. You kind of got Rydell going a little bit.
Conway, he's going to dump it off to his main weapon, Rydell, off the screen, and Rydell makes a number of guys miss en route to being taken down at the 21-yard line for another first down.
Yeah, there's multiple ways to get your primetime players the ball, and here's Rydell in the backfield. You see him there. Looks like Conway's going to throw it. Just slip him the ball out there. Nice job of him cutting back. See his vision and you see the speed. Another 25 for Rydell.
And Rydell came into this game number 2 in receptions for the Marines with 30 catches. He averages 15 yards per reception. And Scott Martin said if we're going to win this game, they are going to have to put it on his shoulders. And they are not shying away from that, as now they go with him on the ground, and he's going to cross the 20 to the 19 for a pickup of 2.
And that's okay. You're going to feed him the ball enough. He's going to get some runs where Garden City's going to close the gap, but you want to make sure you're putting the ball in your playmakers' hands. And now Garden City is starting to think more about the run. So this may be a time where you go a little play action. Maybe you hit Brody Wan or Silva on a slant, something quick and easy for Conway.
Well, Conway has done a nice job spreading the wealth. Silva's got 3 receiving touchdowns. Juan has 4, who you mentioned. Burns has 3. They utilize their top 3 wide receivers as Conway feeling the pressure, and he's going to take off, and he's going to be hit and brought down from behind, but he was able to move forward, crossing the 15-yard line and getting down to the 14 after it looked like he may have been sacked.
Really nice job by Conway getting out of trouble. That was Owen Anderson on a blitz, and him and Rydell have a collision here. I hope we have it. I mean, this is big boy football, and Conway feels that pressure and finds a way to get himself some positive yards. That's a great job by him. Now you're in a 3rd and 2, a very manageable, really 2-down territory situation.
And Conway, not known for his running ability, 45 carries for just 28 yards coming in. As they are going to put Burns in motion, they give it back to Rydell. He slips through traffic and spins his way to the 5-yard line. And that is going to be good enough for another first down.
So In the semifinal game, they used Schimmel a lot to lead block, and I think Garden City was keying on that. So they put Burns in the backfield, they motion him out, get some eyes looking that way, and now you send Rydell through there without bringing too much attention to it. And this is exactly what Long Beach needed to do, right? Drive down the field, and now you got to finish this drive. You're first and goal just outside the 5.
Procedural mistakes and turnovers was what haunted Long Beach in the regular season matchup. They're trying to put those behind them after that plagued them on the opening drive in this game. Conway in the red zone. He's going to take a shot towards the end zone. And is that good for a catch? Yes, it is. Zach Silva with an incredible one-handed grab for his 4th receiving touchdown. And that is exactly how you want to finish a drive.
Beautiful ball. An unbelievable catch here. Very simple. Conway, nice toss, little arc on it. Watch. One-handed. I don't get a chance to see it, but what an unbelievable one-handed catch. Oh, here we go. We get a wider view here of it. Look at this. Left hand, one-handed, feet in.
Thrown pass over Coastal Walsh, the cornerback who was in coverage. So here is Amantea on to kick the extra point, and that is deflected and blocked. So we have now seen 2 blocked extra points, 1 for each team, and it is going to stay 13-6. Still, though, 1 possession separating both of these teams.
Yeah, if you're Long Beach, I think you just take a deep breath right now and say, hey, we can play with these guys, right? We just drove right down the field. We got to score. But this is where they got to answer, right? They got to get a stop. Garden City, 2 drives. The first one, methodical down the field, 5-6 yards at a clip. And then the second one, the Ruck highlight film, screen pass. So they got to find a way to get a stop on Garden City and get off the field.
Conway connecting with Silva. That capping the 2nd possession for the Marines as Conway coming through with his 18th touchdown pass of the season. He has done a really nice job protecting the football. That is what Scott Martin has emphasized, and they're very confident in his flexibility at the line of scrimmage, the play calling, and so forth. And a reminder that coming up after the game, we are going to be naming the Mad Men Player of the Game. Specializing in traditional haircuts, hot shaves, and beard trims, voted best barbershop on Long Island. You're invited this Thanksgiving Eve. Walk in only and walk out a gentleman, Mad Men and Company. And there are several players that are making a case to walk away with that award as Garden City off the bouncer. Ruck will field it. He had that massive touchdown already in this game, and he is still staying on his feet as he's a slippery fella that crosses the 30 and will give some solid starting field positioning to the Trojans. And Ruck looked like he was a bit shaken up after the tackle, but the good news is he's going to get up and jog off under his own power.
Yeah, and, listen, he's going to be handling the ball more than he really ever has, so you don't love, if you're a Garden City fan, to see Ruck come up a little gingerly there. He took a good hit. Long Beach did a nice job there with a squig kick and then, rallying to the football, and somebody put a good hat right into Ruck.
So on the very first play of their last drive, they set up a screen for Ruck, and he went left to right and took it to the house. As Long Beach looking for a defensive stop to change this game. As Desiderio is in motion. And this is going to be their quarterback once again, bulldozing his way through traffic for a first down. That was all their signal caller doing the heavy lifting, Robertiello.
So no Asaro, no Ruck. Just go to Robertiello. Watch this block right there. You see Anderson pin a guy inside. That's big Zach Olson, the Harvard football commit, with a tremendous job of getting out there, but then looking back inside and picking off that pursuit from Long Beach. And Garden City, again, gets itself basically out of its own end. And Robertiello, we said it coming in the opening, you look to him to kind of be a little bit more featured. He's a tough runner.
Olsen, their left guard, who you referenced, 6'5", 285. And Dave Ettinger says he doesn't get enough credit for how agile he is. He can move for a big fella as a flag is going to come in before the snap here. And it's going to be a false start.
Yeah, a little excited there on the outside. And you know, uncharacteristic. I think this is the first flag on Garden City in the game, something they don't normally do. But if you're Long Beach, you'll take anything at this point on defense that slows this offense down. They have not had an answer. They give you left, right, double tight, double wide, multiple formations. Now they're going trips right. I'm not sure if we've seen the same formation more than twice.
And another quarterback keeper here for Robertiello. He's searching for that edge, and he is going to be taken down by Brody Wan, who did a nice job wrapping up the opposing quarterback and preventing him from doing damage.
And Lance, Robertiello is down right now. You're going to see this run. Let's see what happens. He might get rolled up. Looks like his ankle gets caught underneath of Brody Wan there. He's in a lot of pain. He is still down.
He's off the screen. He rolled off towards the sideline. So obviously our audience is not seeing this, but the training staff is attending to Robertiello right now. And to Tom's point, he is holding that right ankle and is in a lot of pain. So we're going to keep you posted on that front. And in the meantime, Brendan Ben, the backup quarterback, is going to come in. He's going to pitch it out to Ruck, who crosses midfield. So this is quite the development, Tom. They're down their starting running back and Anthony Asaro coming in. And now all of a sudden, they may have lost their starting quarterback, Robertiello, down two massive weapons on the offensive side.
Yeah, and good news for Garden City is you see Ruck back in the game. He takes that carry. He's able to pick up 7 yards. So they're in a 3rd and 3. So if you're a Garden City fan, you're watching two things right now. You're watching this play, and you're also got an eye on the sideline to see how this develops.
Ben, the junior backup quarterback, as he hands it off to Ruck again and tries to slither through a few defenders. He's going to be right down near the first down marker. It looks like it may just be shy of that down and distance, and I don't know if they're going to call in for a measurement, it looks like. That's exactly what they're going to do. So they're going to send both teams back to their respective sideline because of how close this is.
Yeah, I think your eyes are good, Lance. I think he may just be a shade shy. And listen, if you're Brendan Ben, you're excited, right, to get on the field. You're excited to be able to play at Hofstra, but you didn't expect it, right? So you are a little nervous. My guess is he's a young man who prepares himself like most backups do with the thought of, I got to be ready to go. And you're right, Lance, just a hair short.
A few inches. Well, my ophthalmologist did give me a thumbs up the last time. So
good eyes.
I'm hoping that he was fairly accurate in terms of his assessment. And they'll try to just push the pile forward here, Garden City, to continue this drive. But the huge development here down their starting quarterback and their starting running back, Garden City, riding a 64-game winning streak. And it looks like it could be a run-heavy attack here moving forward as they come out with the eye as Anderson in that fullback position, and they're going to go inside handoff to Anderson, who bounces off a would-be tackler and is going to move forward for that first down.
Yeah, I thought we were going to get quarterback sneak, and you know, maybe with the new QB, they decided against. Look at Anderson. Great pop there with Schimmel, but Anderson able to bounce off it and pick up 5 yards. Just quickly, Robertiello's down on the sideline jogging a little bit right now. You know, he's still kind of looking at the ankle, but he's trying to plead his case here that he's okay.
He's trying to walk it off, and he's actually walking, as you can see now on screen, without much assistance. So that clearly is good news, at least from an optics standpoint, but we'll see whether or not they do give him the green light. He's going to take a seat now down on the bench and be attended to. And They're going nowhere on that play with Ben off the left side. There was so much activity on the right. They were trying to fool them with a little bit of misdirection, but Long Beach was all over the quarterback.
Yeah, I think he might have bobbled this ball here, Lance. Yeah, the ball goes down on the ground. He's lucky to get it back. That will happen. You don't take a lot of snaps in games. Game snaps are different than practice snaps. You got all these Long Beach guys, staring at you, getting ready to blitz, all that kind of stuff. First thing you got to do is you got to get that ball from the center.
And, Tom, you also have to wonder, big stage is a championship game. Given he hasn't had a lot of experience, do the nerves take over as Ruck is running out of real estate? And actually, it looked like he was going to be tackled even further back, but he was able to plow forward before Capria took him down.
Yeah, you're going to see Vaughn Bagacci here on the D-line, 56. Does a great job. See how he makes him turn back here. Once that turn back happens, the rest of the Long Beach guys are there. Nice job by number 56 there on Long Beach, Bogacci.
And Max Schimmel provided some assistance as well. There's 2.5 minutes at counting here in the second quarter. And it is Brendan Ben, the number 2 quarterback on the depth chart, in right now, with Robertiello still being attended to on the bench. It looks like they're taping up his ankle, which you would think would be a good sign that perhaps he is going to return to the game. And we're going to have a timeout here with 2:07 to go, as it'll be a 3rd and 10 as we see Robertiello. You can see him being attended to by the training staff. And when he was pacing back and forth, Tom, he was itching and campaigning to immediately get back in the game.
Yeah, and I think, the adults here are trying to assess, is it, the championship game, blood running through his system right now, right? Let's make sure he's 100% before we decide to put him back out there.
Well, now is your chance to score a touchdown with Varsity Media's ISO video footage that focuses on your athlete only, perfect for recruiting reels. You now book for the winter season. You can email Jeff at varsitymedia.net for more information, or you can call 516-403-2050. So multiple ways you get in contact with us here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. We look at the past 5 champions here in Conference 2, and Garden City, as you can tell, has made quite the statement within this league. As Ben out of the gun, he's going to look for his first passing attempt here, as the pocket stayed open for him for quite some time, but now he's going to take off and run, and he's going to be shoved out of play. That was Rydell that gave him a little bit of an elbow from the backside, and he actually was able to turn that into a very positive gain.
I love this by Ben. He didn't try to force the ball down the field. You don't want to get a turnover right now. And then he's able to make, something positive at it. Now you're in a 4th and, 4 versus throwing the ball away or putting yourself way behind the sticks with a sack. Nice job by Ben being composed back there. Now this is a big play for Long Beach. You got the backup quarterback in. You're kind of holding here. Can you get off the field on 4th down?
So the ball is at the 35-yard line, and they need to get to the 32. So it's 4th and 3 here, as they put a man in motion, and they're going to give it to Anderson, who is able to plunge up the gut and roll his way to a fresh set of downs.
That is some tough running by Owen Anderson. A little counter action here. You see the 2 big guys pulling. What great blocks, and Anderson squeezes through there. What a good, tough run by him. But you see those offensive linemen there. That was Jake Brown and Zach Olson clearing a path.
That's the left side of that offensive line. Brown is 6'3", 200. So he rivals Olsen a little bit, as they're going to fake the handoff to Anderson, give it to Ben, and Ben is going to use his frame to get across that 25-yard line and set up another manageable down.
Great job by Ben. They're calling his number. It's actually inspiring his teammates here on the sideline. They're all fired up for him. Does a nice job of finding a little seam, gets himself 6 yards. Now Garden City coming in with their 2 tight end package. You got Fennell and Escher.
And the referee had a flag out initially with 53 seconds to go here. Looks like we're going to have a timeout with Garden City threatening and driving, facing a 2nd and 5 here on the 24. So we'll step aside. It is Trojans football as they're looking to pad their lead up 13-6 in Hempstead, New York on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Parents, your support means everything to your athletes and to us at Varsity Media. To help us continue bringing you the best YouTube coverage of high school sports on Long Island, we invite business owners to consider a sponsorship on our broadcasts. If you own a business, consider a sponsorship for your athlete's team. It's a great way to show support, gain visibility, and keep the coverage going strong. Join us in making a difference. Contact Varsity Media today to learn more about broadcast sponsorship opportunities by emailing ben@varsitymedia.net.
So back here at Hofstra University, Ben still in at quarterback, but Robertiello was putting his helmet back on the sideline, and he's still walking gingerly as they continue to test out his foot. 2nd and 5 here. They give it to Anderson. Anderson finds the edge up the left side, and he twirls his way inside the 10-yard line for yet another first down. So the fullback doing a lot of the heavy lifting in the absence of Asaro.
Great counter here. They run basically the same play the other way. We see 76. That's Connor Fortney getting out there, throwing a block, and then the rest is just Anderson. He's running with a purpose, shoulders down, bouncing off tacklers.
As Anderson and Ruck have provided a 1-2 punch in the backfield with Asaro sidelined, and another timeout taken here with 44 seconds to go as we take a look at Robertiello. So you can see he's trying to walk it off, and he is itching to get back out onto that football field and rejoining his teammates here in the huddle. As it looks like he's ready to orchestrate this offense, but we'll see whether or not they give him the green light, or they're going to rest him up during the break and assess whether or not he can reclaim his position in the third quarter. As we see Robertiello very animated and still in the thick of things, Tom, despite the fact that he was shaken up.
Yeah, he's a competitor. He's a big-time athlete. He wants to play. But if you're Garden City, right now you're moving the ball. You're right before halftime. It gives them just a little bit more time to let that ankle kind of settle down.
And we want to thank our sponsors to allow this game to be free for all on YouTube. Edge Remodeling, as well as Mad Men, and we're going to select the Mad Men Player of the Game coming up after this contest. And special thanks to Eddie Marquez, the owner of Edge Remodeling, who is our title sponsor for this contest. As now Garden City back out on the field here from the 9-yard line for a 1st and goal. And they're going to reverse it here as they play a little trickery, and that is going to be a clear pathway for a touchdown for Chris Desiderio. His first rushing score, the senior, who is their leading receiver in receptions, does it with his legs to pad Garden City's advantage.
Long Beach talked about this. So you got reverse? Nope. Double reverse. Right? And look at the blocking on the outside. Desiderio untouched into the end zone. Beautiful play design. And Long Beach talked about this. They knew that the bag is deep when it comes to trick plays in Garden City. Beautiful, beautiful play design. That's why they told Robertiello, go back, relax. We're going double reverse anyway. You take care of the ankle.
So 2 of the keys that Scott Martin was emphasizing not coming to fruition in terms of stopping the run and containing the trick plays is Desiderio now will try to complete his own touchdown, and he does so by drilling it through the uprights. So he does it all. He races into the end zone. He adds the extra point. You name it. and it's a 20-6 game in favor of the top seed Garden City. We'll step aside with a timeout on the field right here on the Varsity Media Sports
Are you a
Network.
local business looking for new and creative ways to promote your company? Varsity Media offers affordable rates that can get your message across to a demographic of 18 to 54 years of age. Our follower base across social media is 75,000 strong, and our viewership numbers per game are in the thousands. Don't blow your advertising budget on old staples like TV and radio media. Reach out to Varsity Media to get the best bang for your buck.
Garden City with its third touchdown of the game coming in the form of Chris Desiderio off a double reverse. And Garden City will now kick off with under 40 seconds to go in the third. Now, Tom, Long Beach won the toss, elected to defer. So they're going to get the ball to start the third quarter. How aggressive would you be here, knowing that maybe if you get a home run, you could perhaps double dip?
I think it depends on this return right now. If they get something that's puts them in good field position, I think you'll see them be aggressive. Nice kick right into
And it's going to go out of play. So that actually is the break that Long Beach exactly needed, because now they are going to get exquisite starting field positioning. A heads-up play there by Burns to let it bounce out of play. And now with 37.5 seconds and 3 timeouts, you have some flexibility here to run your offense and get into scoring position.
And I think the way Conway has thrown the ball here early, you feel pretty good about trying to, get the ball down the field and calling timeouts. With 3 timeouts, 37 seconds is plenty of time. The other piece of this is you got to be careful. You got to be careful where you throw the ball here. Garden City does run to the ball very, very well.
So they're going to start at their own 35-yard line. And Conway certainly has the arm strength. They're going to go for a short screen pass here to Silva. And Silva crosses the 40-yard line. So with 31.3 seconds, they take one of their 3 timeouts. That'll leave 2 to go here as they try to inch closer to midfield.
Yeah, a little screen out there. Ball was just a little low. That didn't allow Silva to kind of get off and running right away, but still very positive, 7 yards. You still aren't ready to take a big shot downfield yet. You'd like to kind of get this ball across the 50.
Well, that's why, considering the low throw, impressive that he was able to get 6 yards on that play, considering that gave enough time for Garden City to converge on him and bring him down. As Conway and company talking things over in terms of how they want to approach these final 31.3 seconds. It would be huge if they can get into the end zone, make this a one-possession game, knowing they're going to get the ball to start the third quarter.
I'd like to see them go back to that screen to Rydell. With the way Garden City's defense is a little bit more in a prevent and backed off the ball, you imagine he'd have a lot of running lanes, but let's see what they do.
Well, Rydell is in the backfield with Conway. And they send him out to the flat. Conway waiting, and that is going to result in a sack. Another huge play by the Garden City defense. Angelo Capani, the senior defensive lineman, with his first full sack of the year.
Yeah, Capani comes in on these passing situations. He has relentless pursuit here. That's the kind of kid he is. A lot of effort, a lot of energy. Huge play right there. Now, if you're Long Beach, you're in a tough spot.
And you force them to have to burn a timeout as a result of that sack. So a heads-up play by the Trojans as Capani had half a sack in the semifinal win over East Meadow. And he is committed to head to Merrimack for lacrosse. As we have mentioned, a number of players are going to be taking their talents at the collegiate level to play that sport. And the physicality certainly translates, Tom, as you can attest to.
Yeah, Angelo's a great lacrosse player, plays for me in the summer, following my boys who played at Merrimack. Great kid, and you see so many of these multi-sport athletes at Garden City, and even on the other side with Timmy Miller and Conway are excellent lacrosse players at Long Beach. That's what you love to see. When you're in high school, play everything you can. You know, if you could play a sport like football and then back it up with another sport, lacrosse, baseball in the spring, do it. You know, you only get one shot at it.
So it's 3rd and 9 for Long Beach. As Conway has the pocket collapsing, he's going to have to get rid of it, and it bounces off the midsection of Schimmel and incomplete, bringing up 4th and 9.
Now you're in a little bit of a spot here because you if I'm Garden City, I'm sending the house, right? You might as well try to get a punt block here. And then you have, you know, Ruck back there receiving, who has shown us already his ability in the open field. This is not the way Long Beach really wanted to end this half.
So Gavin O'Grady is coming out to punt. They used Jerron Burns as the punter last week, mainly because of the win factor and his great hands in handling snaps. As O'Grady is able to get it off a high ball fielded by Ruck at the 40. And with 10.6 seconds to go, Garden City now will come out. And how aggressive does Dave Ettinger want to be here?
I think he'll go just, kneeling it, but would it surprise you?
We've already seen a double reverse.
Yeah.
We've seen the fullback involved. We've seen just about everything in their deep bag of tricks. So I wouldn't put anything past the Trojans at this stage, but you would think, given the fact that you're up by 2 scores and the opposition's going to get the ball to start the 3rd quarter, that taking a knee, especially with their backup quarterback still in, is the most sensible move.
And that's what they'll do.
And they are in that formation. As Ben is going to take a knee, and that is going to do it for the first 2 quarters of this Nassau County Section 8 Conference 2 championship game. It is the top seed Garden City heading into the locker room with a 20-6 advantage over 3rd seed Long Beach. 3 touchdowns for the Trojans, a rushing score for Robertiello, their quarterback, who is now injured. Desiderio on a double reverse. And then a touchdown strike also in the corner of the end zone, as they were able to do a little bit of everything. As we'll step aside, plenty coming up here from Hempstead, New York, as you're watching the Nassau County Section 8 Conference 2 title game on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Now is a great time to book a sportscast with Varsity Media. What sets our sportscast apart isn't just the quality of our production, it's the knowledge, passion, and professionalism that our announcers bring to every game.
And here he comes again. Off the backboard! Are you serious?
Daly tries another 3. That one's good. One from the left corner, now from the right. Daly's on fire with 10 points in the opening quarter.
Loose ball, Keyshawn White has it. He's just going to let it fly. Oh! Keyshawn White from half court. That is cash. What a way to end the 3rd quarter.
Our commentators research athletes and highlight storylines that matter to your communities. Our approach creates a broadcast experience that not only informs, but elevates the athletes, giving the kind of recognition usually reserved for professional levels. Varsity Media's announcers make sure that every athlete has their moment. So book a Varsity Media Sportscast today, and let's get your team the recognition it deserves. Now is a great time to book a sportscast with Varsity Media. What sets our sportscast apart isn't just the quality of our production, it's the knowledge, passion, and professionalism that our announcers bring to every game.
It's Merrill. Oh, look at a fake by Merrill. There's the spin again. Gary Merrill is not human. Touchdown, St. Anthony. Profeta! 1-0, Garden City.
Our commentators research athletes and highlight storylines that matter to your communities. Our approach creates a broadcast experience that not only informs, but elevates the athletes, giving the kind of recognition usually reserved for professional levels. Varsity Media's announcers make sure that every athlete has their moment. So book a Varsity Media Sportscast today, and let's get your team the recognition it deserves.
Hey parents, coaches, and players. Ever wonder what makes Varsity Media stand out as the tri-state leader in sports live streaming and videography?
Well, I've been working with Varsity Media for, 14 years. When we have video needs, whether that be a game, whether that be a practice, whether it be social media, it's nice to know that somebody understands what we're looking for without asking for it.
We started working with Varsity Media back in 2021, and since then they've been an absolute game changer, putting our event on the map. Varsity Media couldn't be a better partner, and if you're looking to optimize your event, I couldn't recommend them anymore.
It's been great for us. You know, the kids really get excited when they know that Varsity Media is going to be here. Not just what's happening on the football field, but all the excitement that's around it. It really boosts the environment here, and everybody gets really excited for what's going on.
Varsity Media is reliable, professional, and the quality work is fantastic. It's like watching ESPN. The announcers are unreal, really do a great job of speaking to the coaches to get the knowledge of the players, the season, what's going on with the team. There is nothing better than Varsity Media doing a live broadcast.
If you'd like to book with Varsity Media, reach out at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net. Hey parents, coaches, and players. Ever wonder what makes Varsity Media stand out as the tri-state leader in sports live streaming and videography?
If you're looking to optimize your sporting event, look no further than Varsity Media's coverage. Since working with them over the course of the past 4 years through the Elite 5 New York City Football Showcase, their coverage has helped take us to the top.
Varsity Media does an unbelievable job in terms of the broadcast, backgrounds on kids, do a great job in exposure from top to bottom. I couldn't really say anything negative. It's been a great couple of years that we've been working together, and it's just fantastic.
Well, I tell you, the fact that you guys are here has helped grow it. Really. I mean, Varsity Media's been a good partner with us now for the last couple of years. That brings this game to a much broader audience.
The level of detail and that you go to, I mean, obviously the announcers, the camera angles, the slow motions, I mean, you feel like it's being covered by, ESPN.
If you'd like to book with Varsity Media, reach out at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net. High school sports fans, Varsity Media is the exclusive live stream partner of Nassau County Championships. To live stream fall, winter, and spring championship events, head to varsitymediapass.com to order. Now accessible on smart TVs. Varsity Media is your home for the Nassau County Championships.
Now we are back here at Hofstra University. It is halftime of the Conference 2 championship game in Nassau County, presented by Edge Remodeling, with Garden City leading Long Beach 20-6, the number 1 seed and the number 3 seed doing battle. As we welcome you back into the broadcast booth, he's Tom Rooney. I'm Lance Meadows. So glad you could join us. And really a big missed opportunity, Tom, for Long Beach right before the end of the half. They kicked the ball out of bounds, Garden City, 35-yard line to start, and they gave up a sack and just were not able to capitalize, even though they had 3 timeouts left.
Yeah, you would have liked to see Long Beach, capitalize on the field position, but also coming off their last drive where they moved the ball down the field and were able to score. And they were so multi-dimensional with Rydell running and Conway throwing. So you miss out on that. But you do get the ball to start the half. So you have an opportunity here to come out of halftime, drive downfield, get a touchdown, and close this to a 1-score game.
As they won the opening coin toss and, of course, elected to defer. So let's find out how we got to this score. 20-6 as we walk you through the first half highlights. This was the opening drive for the Trojans, and as you dialed up, Tom, they gave it to their quarterback, Robertiello.
Yeah, dynamic runner, great time for the quarterback draw. They get the eyes going with the jet motion, and then watch him just find the hole there. There's really nothing in the initial hole, but Robertiello, so good and tough runner, and great play right there.
His 12th rushing score. Then they came back and they ran a screen on the opposite side of the field to Merritt Ruck, and you're going to see him cut back as the left sideline closed up. He fooled Silva, reverse course, came back to the right, looking the blocking up the field, and he was able to maneuver all the way in for a touchdown.
Yeah, one of the great runs you'll ever see in the open field there by Ruck. But here's the answer by Long Beach. Beautiful ball by Conway, and then watch this catch. The one-hander by Silva, just unbelievable catch. And that's what we were hoping to see, Long Beach capitalize on and play off. But you see it again, just a beautiful ball, arcing ball there. Really, really nice job.
Their extra point was blocked, and then here we go in the red zone again. A double reverse, and it is Desiderio able to have the alley up the left side for the touchdown to make it a 20-6 score.
And you see Brendan Benn there, who came in relief of Robertiello that got hurt, and give him a lot of credit. He led that drive down the field, gained some yards with his legs. They didn't pull back the playbook on him. He obviously is a prepared young man, and I was really impressed with the way Brendan Benn came in relief of Robertiello. Hopefully he's okay, but if you're Garden City, that's a great sign that your backup quarterback's ready to play like that.
And that, of course, is going to be the big storyline to watch at the start of the second half. Will Robertiello reclaim his job, or will he watch as Ben will orchestrate the offense? It is 20-6 in favor of Garden City over Long Beach at the break. We'll step aside with the second half coming up right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Help keep Varsity Media's broadcasts free on YouTube by considering an advertising sponsorship. Our coverage of local games helps local businesses get visibility in the community. To learn more about our sponsorship packages and rates, email Ben at varsitymedia.net. Now's your chance to score a touchdown with Varsity Media's ISO video. Video footage that focuses on your athlete only. Perfect for recruiting reels. Spots are limited, so reach out today. Email Jeff at varsitymedia.net to book your next ISO video with Varsity Media. You've seen the dedication, the long hours, the early mornings, the sacrifice. You know your athlete has what it takes. But how do you make sure the right people see it? The recruiting process isn't easy. Coaches are flooded with highlights. But how do you stand out in the crowd? At Varsity Media, we specialize in creating game-changing ISO videos, high-definition, athlete-focused footage that highlights exactly what college recruiters want to see. With our up-close ISO video, we capture your athlete's key moments. No more wide angles showing other players. This is just your athlete's pure, raw talent. This is more than a video. This is the opportunity your athlete deserves. Give your athlete the edge they need. Make the right impression with Varsity Media's ISO video service. The future starts now. Parents, your support means everything to your athletes and to us at Varsity Media. To help us continue bringing you the best YouTube coverage of high school sports on Long Island, we invite business owners to consider a sponsorship on our broadcasts. If you own a business, consider a sponsorship for your athlete's team. It's a great way to show support, gain visibility, and keep the coverage going strong. Join us in making a difference. Contact Varsity Media today to learn more about broadcast sponsorship opportunities by emailing ben@varsitymedia.net.
Are you a local business looking for new and creative ways to promote your company? Varsity Media offers affordable rates that can get your message across to a demographic of 18 to 54 years of age. Our follower base across social media is 75,000 strong, and our viewership numbers per game are in the thousands. Don't blow your advertising budget on old staples like TV and radio media. Reach out to Varsity Media to get the best bang for your buck.
Now is a great time to book a sportscast with Varsity Media. What sets our sportscast apart isn't just the quality of our production, it's the knowledge, passion, and professionalism that our announcers bring to every game.
And here he comes again. Off the backboard! Are you serious?
Daly tries another three. That one's good. One from the left corner, now from the right. Daly's on fire with 10 points in the opening quarter.
Loose ball, Keyshawn White has it. He's just going to let it fly. Oh! Keyshawn White from half court. That is cash. What a way to end the third quarter.
Our commentators research athletes and highlight storylines that matter to your communities. Our approach creates a broadcast experience that not only informs, but elevates the athletes, giving the kind of recognition usually reserved for professional levels. Varsity Media's announcers make sure that every athlete has their moment. So book a Varsity Media Sportscast today, and let's get your team the recognition it deserves. Now is a great time to book a sportscast with Varsity Media. What sets our sportscast apart isn't just the quality of our production, it's the knowledge, passion, and professionalism that our announcers bring to every game.
It's Merrill. Oh, look at a fake by Merrill. There's the spin again. Gary Merrill is not human. Touchdown, St. Anthony. Profeta! Profeta! 1-0, Garden City.
Our commentators research athletes and highlight storylines that matter to your communities. Our approach creates a broadcast experience that not only informs, but elevates the athletes, giving the kind of recognition usually reserved for professional levels. Varsity Media's announcers make sure that every athlete has their moment. So book a Varsity Media Sportscast today, and let's get your team the recognition it deserves.
Hey parents, coaches, and players, ever wonder what makes Varsity Media stand out as the tri-state leader in sports live streaming and videography?
Well, I've been working with Varsity Media for, 14 years. When we have video needs, whether that be a game, whether that be a practice, whether it be social media, it's nice to know that somebody understands what we're looking for without asking for it.
We started working with Varsity Media back in 2021, and since then they've been an absolute game changer, putting our event on the map. Varsity Media couldn't be a better partner, and if you're looking to optimize your event, I couldn't recommend them anymore.
It's been great for us. You know, the kids really get excited when they know that Varsity Media is going to be here. Not just what's happening on the football field, but all the excitement that's around it. It really boosted the environment here, and everybody gets really excited for what's going on.
Varsity Media, it's reliable, professional, and the quality work is fantastic. It's like watching ESPN. The announcers are unreal, really do a great job of speaking to the coaches to get the knowledge of the players, the season, what's going on with the team. There is nothing better than Varsity Media doing a live broadcast.
If you'd like to book with Varsity Media, reach out at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
In Hempstead, New York, with Garden City leading Long Beach 20-6, and the Trojans will kick off to the Marines as Long Beach won the opening toss, elected to defer, so Desiderio, who scored on a double reverse in the first half, will let it fly with his leg, and he's going to put it out of the reach of Burns for a touchback.
Great leg there by Desiderio, huh? All the way into the end zone. If you're Long Beach right now, Lance, we've said this a couple times. They did answer when we said it the last time. This is a big drive. You know, you have yet to slow down Garden City's offense. They've had the ball 3 times. They've driven down the field 3 times and scored. You got to be able to answer them. And coming out of the half, guys fresh and ready to play. You know, you hope you can dig into that playbook and put this together. And if you're Garden City, you're banged up. You know, we were watching guys on the sideline. This Long Beach group came to play. We know Robertiello's banged up. Ruck's getting some attention. You want to make sure that you to handle this game and get your guys out.
Garden City outscored their last 3 opponents 121-0 as Rydell gets grabbed from behind as he maneuvers his way to the 25-yard line for a pickup of 5 yards.
Lance, you and I were talking at halftime about getting Rydell involved. You know, for me, I don't think he touched the ball enough in the first half. This to me in the second half, and this is how they handled the semifinal. Rydell came out and had a huge second half. So, you know, to me, Rydell is the guy who's going to carry you in this second half if you're going to get a chance to rally and come back.
And you referenced the semifinal. That was after they were held scoreless in the first 2 quarters last week. And the touchdown drive, the lone one in this game, it was thanks to Rydell getting 2 big chunk plays. As Conway having plenty of time here to survey the field, and he brings out a stiff arm as he crosses the 30-yard line and is going to be able to move the chains, zigzagging through traffic.
Yeah, you're going to see Conway here. Nice job. Goes through his progressions, keeps his feet moving, and that's key in the pocket. Does a nice job getting outside, and that's Escher there making a nice tackle on the outside. But if you're Long Beach, you get that first down, and now everybody can kind of settle down.
So the Marines trying to get back on the board and eat into this deficit with Rydell and Conway, along with Burns, the 3 players in the backfield, as they are going to send Silva out wide to try to open things up. And here's another pre-snap penalty against Long Beach.
Yeah, that didn't look good from the beginning. They took a little long getting the play call in. Silva really wasn't sure where to line up. And these are those penalties that just put you in such a tough spot, right? So now you're 1st and 15, and you got to work that much harder to move the sticks.
And this is the offense that cannot afford to have to continue to pick up an additional 5 yards given the deficit they're facing. And the clock now ticking away here in that 3rd quarter as Conway is going to avoid a sack. Another stiff arm, and he's going to be brought down. Will Matisse nearly had him, but was able to slow him down long enough to allow the sack to come into play.
Yeah, nice job on the coverage by Garden City, and then Matisse closes the gap and is able to trip up Conway there. And you see all the rest of the Garden City guys running to the football. And that's why that penalty really hurts. It almost puts you in a passing down. Then you take a sack. Now you're in 2nd and 20.
As that was Jake Brown who launched his body, number 55, after Matisse was able to force Conway to switch directions. So they lose a yard on the play. And it's now 2nd and 16. And Conway desperately in need of a bomb down the field, and he doesn't have a target, so he's going to run in circles here, and he's just going to let it fly, and it's going to be caught across the 40-yard line to set up a manageable 3rd down. That was Zach Silva yet again.
Yeah, Conway just buying time, being an athlete here, feet moving, bouncing around back there. He rolls here. Nice job of getting the ball. Great catch, by the way. If it was just underthrown a little bit, Silva might have been able to run. But like you just said, it puts him in a position now where you're 3rd and 5, very, very manageable after a 2nd and 20.
They got 11 yards on that last play, and That is Silva's second impressive grab in this contest. The other one was the touchdown in the corner, a one-hander, as they threw the ball over Costa Walsh. So they fake the handoff to Rydell, and again, he's pressured, and Conway is going to be sacked by Mark Escher, who had a hit earlier in this drive, as the sack party is alive and well for the Trojans.
We talked about Escher in the opening. He was going to be the guy that replaces Asaro on defense. And you see the athleticism on this young man just tracking Conway down, and a huge sack and a chance for Garden City to get off the field and get the ball back to their offense.
So Escher gets his first sack of the season, and he's the one replacing Asaro at defensive end in the starting lineup. So we're seeing the offensive personnel and the defensive personnel make up for the absence of their stud player on both ends. So the punting unit comes out with O'Grady, who's trying to reverse the field. And this ball is bobbled. It's on the ground. Garden City trying to jump back on it. And they're going to have to clear out this pile. And it is going to be Long Beach football. So a huge change of events here, as Justin Baker could not handle it. He bobbled it. Long Beach jumped on it. And now they take over in Garden City territory.
You know, I had mentioned that Merritt Ruck was on the sideline getting looked at. He's the normal returner. And Baker goes in there, and, you know, if you don't do it a lot, returning punts is not easy. He was looking to kind of move before he had full control. And credit to Long Beach for hustling down. And listen, if you're going to knock off the champs, you need a couple of things to bounce your way. And here's the first turnover for Long Beach, and it sets them up on the other side of the 50.
And it was Long Beach that coughed up the ball twice in the regular season meeting. So this is huge, and it looked like Luke Agrippina was the one that covered up the ball with his long frame. At least had a knee on it as he was trying to bend back to grab it. So Conway looking to redeem himself, and he's going to fire towards the sideline, and that is going to be hauled in by Silva. It's going to be just short of the first down marker, but Silva has made some incredible efforts in this game.
Great catch by Silva. Conway, a little out route there. Ruck puts a pretty good pop on him, but Silva with the great hands.
And it looked like there was some yapping back out on the field after that hit.
This is it's an emotional game, but this is the part of the game, you know, when you're, in a championship game and you're trailing, you get a turnover, you know what a big spot this is. Both teams know what a big spot this is.
A 7-yard gain for Silva as they put Schimmel in motion. And they're going to give the ball to Rydell. A stiff arm on Anderson frees him up for a first down run as he takes it inside the 25-yard line.
This is what we wanted to see from Long Beach. Rydell right here showing great strength. We said he's not the biggest guy, but just really, really powerfully built. Gets up the field. Just a tough kid to bring down. If I'm Long Beach, I am feeding this kid from here on in.
Well, that's exactly what Scott Martin, the head coach, emphasized, saying that this is the guy that's going to have to take the lead and bring us to the promised land. And one of the things that Scott emphasized is every single play, Rydell empties the tank. That's just the level that he plays at, and we are seeing that front and center as they put Silva in motion, and no surprise, they give the ball back to Rydell. He navigates through traffic successfully and twirls his way down to the 15-yard line for another manageable second down.
So it looks like Long Beach has found something here, right? They're running off the right side. They give you a little jet motion. They run back away from the motion. Look at Rydell squeeze in there. Good blocking up front. I mean, that's 8 yards on first down. And they're setting themselves up right now. This is a big spot.
You saw Zach Olson, their left guard and defensive tackle, frustrated with himself that Rydell went right through his grasp. So can Long Beach punch it in for the second time this afternoon? As this is going to be a Wildcat formation, the direct snap, and it'll be a minimal gain as Garden City was able to penetrate up the gut and anticipate that Rydell was seeking an opening in the middle.
Yeah, first time we've seen Rydell in the Wildcat, I believe, and something they went to a lot in the second half last week against Mepham. He's really good there, and it kind of takes out a lot of the delay in getting him the ball, and now we're going to see it again on this 3rd and short.
Well, the good news for Long Beach, it's 4th down territory, but Rydell is going to try, and he is going to be unsuccessful. Wrapped up and tackled by Andrew Dengler, their junior linebacker.
Yeah, great read here by Dengler. You see him on the bottom of your screen there. Oh, it's Anderson.
Yeah, it was Anderson actually that came in, and then Dengler jumped in.
Cleaned it up, yeah. Great read by Anderson there. I mean, that's how Anderson plays. I mean, he is tackle to tackle downhill. That's a really, really big tackle now. Now you're in 4th and 2, and it feels like that 2 yards is really long right now.
Well, it's maybe even closer to 3. They marked him as he lost a yard on the last play. Conway's going to try to make up for it. He's going to take a shot towards the end zone, and it is going to be incomplete. It went right through the hands of Brody Wan, who appeared to have a step on the defense.
Yeah, great coverage here by Costa Walsh. Look at this throw. It's a beautiful ball into the corner. Walsh, maybe gets there a little early. It's close. Those are tough calls for those officials, but a really nice ball. And that's a ball that Juan would love to have back.
He put both hands out, and it seemed to just fall right through. He's looking to secure it. So a turnover on downs after the takeaway, and these are the things that can come back to bite you where you're not able to make Garden City pay for a mistake. And the Trojans now will take over. And Robertiello is still on the sideline. So this is Ben still operating as the backup quarterback. And they give it to Anderson, who was able to take on contact en route to the 20-yard line.
Anderson, really nice job of getting up in here. I don't think this was the counter, just a simple zone. His job is to find the seam, and that's exactly what he does. He's got a little pep in his step here today, Lance. You don't carry the ball a lot. You have a headliner like Asaro, who's like a home run hitter, but now he's getting his chance, and he looks fresh and really excited to run the ball.
And if you're Dave Ettinger, that's exactly what you want to see, as Ben is going to take a shot down the field, and that will sail out of play as he was trying to get the ball to Baker.
Yeah, really good coverage by Danny Correa. We haven't called his name a ton, but he kind of patrols that back end of the defense for Long Beach. So good at reading plays and coming up, and we've seen him now in coverage a couple times in this game. But if you're Ben, you put that ball in a good spot, right? That was either going to be a great catch right on the sideline or out of bounds. You give yourself a chance now on 3rd and 5.
And they're going to hand it back over to Anderson, and Long Beach brings him down in the backfield. A really nice job there by the defensive front as they were able to make sure Anderson did not get a step on their defensive front seven.
Yeah, Anderson tried to pop that one wide, and nice job by the the Long Beach defense right there.
That was Tim Miller who was able to get the initial arms on him before he was assisted by a few of his teammates.
Yeah, Miller, a tough kid, going to Hamilton to play lacrosse, plays outside backer, but they bring him up on the line as almost like a D-end.
And he makes all the defensive calls for them from a leadership perspective. So this is huge. They force a punt here as Desiderio is going to try to reverse the field, and Burns off the bounce is going to just let Garden City cover it up. Still good field positioning to start for Long Beach. And the unfortunate part for them is they got a defensive stop after they failed on offense. If they would have scored, who knows what this game would look like with 4:08 to go in the third. And a reminder that our title sponsor is Edge Remodeling, Inc. has provided exceptional general contractor services in Franklin Square, New York for several years. Owner and Sewanaka graduate Eddie Marquez prides himself on satisfying customers by extending affordable, high-quality, and professional services to make your remodeling dreams come true. Call today for consultation, 516-860-8630. Conway taking over, and he's going to go opposite side of the field, and Silva nearly was able to secure it, but he couldn't, and it'll be an incomplete pass.
Yeah, it was there. That's a really long throw from one hash all the way out to the sideline, just slightly underthrown, and Silva kind of lost his feet there.
And Silva frustrated with himself that he wasn't able to haul it in. So it'll be 2nd and 10 for the Marines, who once again trying to find the end zone. They fake it to Rydell. They go screen to Silva. And he's going to bring it across midfield. So it'll be a manageable 3rd down coming up as Silva put his shoulder down and laid the hit on Coastal Walsh, who was coming in for the tackle.
Yeah, Silva, tough kid. We see his adrenaline pumping here in this quarter. He's fired up, and like you said, this is now a manageable 3rd down. It's a 3rd and 4, and at this point of the game, Lance, this might be 2-down territory.
As we are under 3.5 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter, Garden City bringing the pressure, good protection for Conway, and he puts it out wide, and this time Silva makes the grab to move the chains.
Yeah, big play. Great route by Silva. Drives off Coastal Walsh and comes back to get this ball. You see Dangler putting pressure there. Just watch Walsh and, trying to close the gap there, but Silva just drives him off and comes back, catches with his hands, gets out of bounds.
So Zach Silva continuing to fight as he and his teammates want to cut into this deficit before perhaps the end of the 3rd quarter as they put Brody Wan in motion, and now Silva's going to come back the opposite way. So here's Rydell, has a little space to work with as he gets across the 40-yard line out to the 38 on a short pickup on 1st down.
Positive yards. I like the idea of getting Rydell the ball in space. Very rarely do you see one guy take him down. There was 2 Garden City guys there. They did a nice job of sandwiching him and limiting the gain. But if you're Long Beach, if you keep coming with positive plays with Rydell, eventually he's going to pop one.
3rd and 7 as we look at Robertiello's warming up on the side. And he's been walking around since the latter part of the 1st half, but they have not put him back in. Burns getting involved on offense. A stiff arm frees him up, and he is going to be brought down hard across the 1st down marker. And all of a sudden, Long Beach now picking up steam on the offensive end.
Yeah, nice little play design. They put Burns in motion a lot. They just haven't thrown him the ball. Now he's one-on-one in space. Makes a great move on Escher. And Burns is one of those guys, he loves being out there in space.
Kupani then wrapped him up from behind.
Now, Long Beach has been down here before. This is where you got to convert. You got to stay out of, bad down and distance, no pre-snap penalties. Like to see them go back to Rydell here.
Well, Rydell is in the backfield right now. And they're going to fake the handoff on a play action. Conway is going to be sacked yet again as the pressure collapses on him. James Sullivan, with his 1st of the season, the senior defensive tackle, was able to bring down Conway as you're going to see the pocket collapse.
Yeah, really good coverage by Garden City. Forces Conway to kind of go through his progressions, and he just ran out of time. Sullivan and company, really determined pass rush there, and this is, a little behind the sticks now for Long Beach with a 2nd and 15.
Defensive line has been spreading the wealth today. Agrippina, Escher, Sullivan, and Kupani each have 1 sack in this contest, and this is what has short-circuited these Long Beach drives with under a minute to go in the 3rd. Second and 14. Conway airing it out. And this is going to be bobbled and dropped. Juan had his hands on it, but couldn't secure it as he was working that sideline.
Yeah, great coverage by Ruck. Played him on an inside, taking away the inside, so that the fade was there. Great ball, but Ruck stays with it. A lot of hand fighting, gets his hand in there, knocks it away.
Third and 14 now for the Marines, as it has been 4th down territory every time that they have been on this side of the field. So this is really 2 opportunities to get 14 yards. That's how Long Beach is thinking about things. And we'll see whether or not they try to bite off a big piece of the apple. They just go for a little piece, and that ball comes loose, but they're going to say it was incomplete to Rydell as he never secured the football.
Yeah, and Capani read this right away. They were trying to go back to that Rydell screen, and Capani, who's in there to pass rush, does a great job of seeing his offensive lineman kind of let him go and release, and he just follows it right down the line as you're taught to do. So a really nice job by Capani. And now Long Beach is in 4th and 15.
Now, on the last 4th down opportunity on the previous drive, Tom, they took a shot into the end zone, but they don't necessarily need to be thinking like that and approaching it. The goal is just get the fresh set of downs and give yourself some more at-bats. But we'll see what Conway looks to take advantage of with pressure coming in his gut, and Rydell is in for pass protection, and this ball, there's no way that would have been complete even if it was caught high and out of play to Silva. And another turnover on downs on consecutive possessions.
Man, if you're Long Beach, you're kicking yourself. You had a 4th and 2 on the 12. You had great field possession, position here, 1st and 10 on the 30, and you just couldn't find a way to keep the drives going. This score is 20-6. The game is much closer than that, Lance. They are knocking on the door. Can they get another turnover?
Especially since they got a defensive stop. And we want to remind you that you can turn to a Varsity Media Sportscast produced by Varsity Media Sports Network. You can call 516-403-2050, or you can email ben@varsitynet.com. As we see Garden City coming out with the rushing attack, as they are looking to milk some clock and set the tone with Chase Krause with his 7th carry of the season, the senior who's heading to Stevens Institute of Technology to play lacrosse. And that is going to be the final seconds of the 3rd quarter, as Robertiello, the starting quarterback, is greeting his teammates. You can see as we head to break, Ben, the backup, still in, with their team leading Long Beach 20-6 on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Hey parents, coaches, and players. Ever wonder what makes Varsity Media stand out as the tri-state leader in sports live streaming and videography?
If you're looking to optimize your sporting event, look no further than Varsity Media's coverage. Since working with them over the course of the past 4 years through the Elite 5 New York City Football Showcase, their coverage has helped take us to the top.
Varsity Media does an unbelievable job in terms of the broadcast, backgrounds on kids, do a great job of exposure from top to bottom. I couldn't really say anything negative. It's been a great couple of years that we've been working together, and it's just fantastic.
Well, I'll tell you, the fact that you guys are here has helped grow it, really. I mean, Varsity Media's been a good partner with us now for the last couple of years. That brings this game to a much broader audience.
The level of detail and that you go to, I mean, obviously the announcers,
So Ben in at quarterback as they again hand it off, in Long Beach with a gang tackle pushed back all the way to the 46-yard line. A really nice second effort there by the offensive line for the Trojans.
Yeah, a little fullback dive to Capani, and then it looked like the Eagles tush push. As Capani got up in there, and then his buddies took him for a little bit of a ride. Angelo pumping his legs. And for Garden City, it's nice to get first downs and let this clock kind of tick away a little bit. Clock is your friend here. You're going to see a lot of runs from here on out.
As they again go up the left side, here's Ruck. And Ruck is able to get right near the first down marker. And this is good enough, again, to move the chains. This is exactly what Garden City wants to do. They want to pound the clock, they want to pound the football, and they want to put the pressure back on Long Beach to have to see if their defensive line can get some penetration on a consistent basis.
Yeah, they're double tight right now. And they're just lining up. They're saying we're going to run the ball, and they're running it right at Long Beach. If you're Long Beach, you may have to roll up Danny Correa. You may have to take some chances with your linebackers and blitz some guys. You cannot sit back here and just let them run the ball.
So they come out of the I formation and a delayed handoff to Ruck, and Ruck is met with authority, and the ball is going to come loose, but it looks like they're going to rule that Ruck was down as Max Schimmel was ready to take it to the house. And now Ruck, slow to get up again. You could tell he's walking this off gingerly, but he was shaken up in the first half, and that has certainly taken a toll on him.
Yeah, he's taken some big hits, and, you know, he got caught up, and Schimmel's ripping at the ball. Scott Martin not happy at the top of our screen there. He felt like that ball was out. Hard for us to see up here, but doesn't matter what Scott Martin thinks. It's second down for the Trojans.
Well, let's take another look here and see whether or not Ruck was down. As you see number 2, Schimmel, he's fighting, and you know what? That was a clear fumble, and that should have been a takeaway. That's a big missed opportunity. Now the ball is on the ground again, and it makes no difference. Long Beach, a little bit of a delay, but they're going to get the football back. Their second takeaway after the first one. They were prevented from recovering. This one is actually going to count.
Yeah, I mentioned before, getting live snaps in a game is way different. You know, and this is center quarterback exchange. Ball just comes right out, and Long Beach jumps on it.
And I believe that was Rydell out of the linebacker position that jumped on that to make the recovery. Is the exchange with Ben not clean. And if you're Long Beach, this script, Tom, has been ideal. This is your second takeaway, but they've turned it over on downs on each of the last 2 possessions. Can they finally break through and capitalize? Conway has plenty of time in the pocket, over the middle, and Silva goes sky high to make the grab and put them in Garden City territory, as this kid has toughness written all over him.
What an adjustment to the ball. Conway, you're going to see Silva right down the seam. 3 Garden City guys. He drops it right in, and he knows he's going to get hit. And Walsh just a little bit late getting there, but great job by Silva settling down. What a receiver Silva is.
Well, Scott Martin, when talking about Silva, said he is always an option to throw the ball to, regardless of what the coverage showcases. And we are seeing that exactly come to fruition. They're going to go to the sideline to Burns. He's going to try to make a man miss, and he's going to reach out towards that 35-yard line, as this will be a very short second down.
Yeah, real good first down play there. Stay in front of the sticks. Looks like he got about 7 or 8. I love that, putting Burns out there in space. He's a good athlete. And if you're Long Beach, you're feeling it now. You got some momentum. You got another turnover. If you could punch this in, this game is going to feel a whole lot different.
And they have to find a way to get a touchdown if they want to make this a ball game down the stretch. Conway, again, with plenty of time to navigate traffic, and he's just going to wisely throw it away as he had no one within his vicinity.
Yeah, they wanted to go to the left side, and Garden City has really done a nice job of covering up this particular play where they slide Rydell out into the flat, and Conway wisely just throws it away and gives him a chance now on 3rd down.
So it'll be 3rd and 3 for the Marines.
Yeah, it's got Rydell written all over it here. Give it to your guy.
And that's exactly what they do, and he slashes up the middle. He's still on his feet, as he spins around a few times down at the 26-yard line, and another first down for their main weapon.
Yeah, great block there by Timmy Miller on a little trap, and then Rydell does the rest.
Baker coming in to make the tackle on Rydell as we approach 8.5 minutes to go. They entered Garden City territory each of the last two possessions and wound up turning it over on downs. Could the third time be a charm? That is what they are hoping for as they give it to Rydell again. That cutback lane closes up as Rydell was tackled from behind by Kupani.
Great pursuit by Kupani. That looked like it had a chance. Rydell was just about to get to the second level, and Kupani tracked him down from behind, and that's the advantage of having a really good athlete. I mean, Kapani's probably more of an outside backer type kid, but they have him on the D line for plays like that.
It put Burns in motion. Play action for Conway, and Conway is trying to buy more time as he's going to throw one up, and that is clearly well out of play, and no chance for that ball to be grabbed by Kean Donahue, the junior wide receiver.
Yeah, Conway may have missed Burns here underneath. When you watch this play develop, little play action, he rolls out to the left. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see it, but Burns is in the flats. Over there he is. And I think if he had just gone there, at the very least, he picks up 5 or 6 yards.
It's the thought process, Tom, of go for the base hit or the double as opposed to play for the home run. It seems like Conway was looking to swing for the fences, to use that baseball analogy.
Yeah. But you're in 2-down territory anyway. You got a 3rd and 8 here. You want to see positive play, positive yards, and give yourself a chance.
So an empty backfield for Conway, and there's going to be a quarterback keeper as Conway is going to be brought down at the 20. Now a flag comes in from the backfield as there was a lot of activity with him going up the left side.
Yeah, this is because Zach Olson just beats his man and comes flying into the backfield. Number 77, you're going to see him just kind of explode and just get held. And, you know, that's enough to flush Conway out. And now you're in a tough spot.
As that was Brandon Galliano, the right tackle, who then just shoved Olsen. He had no choice. That's a 5'8", 210 right tackle going up against a 6'5", 285 player. Just to further paint the disparity between both of those guys.
Yeah, and Brandon Galliano has done a nice job today. We haven't called Olsen's number a ton, but at some point size is gonna matter, and right there it did.
And Galliano also switched from center to right tackle this year, and the reasoning behind it is Scott Martin said his feet and his strength made him much more valuable on the outside. So that's why they moved him to right tackle and then inserted Jack Muskin at center, who's the twin brother of Charlie, who plays right next to him at left guard. And Garden City wanted another pre-snap penalty as Conway throws towards the left side, and a flag comes in as Burns was the intended target and Ruck was in coverage, and this looks like it's pass interference written all over it.
Yeah, Garden City wanted a procedure call. I'm not sure if it was. And it's almost, Long Beach almost makes out here because the ball's underthrown, and Ruck is not sure where the ball is, and you see he's got his arms wrapped around Burns. But not a spot foul. This isn't the NFL, so not the worst penalty in the world. If you're Garden City, you certainly don't want to give up a touchdown.
But they're still able to at least move forward here, Long Beach, and considering it has been tough sledding for them, trying to punch it in every bit of yardage helps, especially at this point in the game when also you need to be aware of the clock as we're now under 7 minutes to go in the fourth quarter.
Wildcat here.
Rydell with the direct snap, and he was not able to cut back as he was aiming towards the 15-yard line.
So our viewers may not realize in high school football, pass interference is not an automatic first down. So they got the 15 yards, but it only set them up for a 3rd and about 1. And now they're going to have to measure. And I think he's going to be a little bit short, setting up another huge 4th down for Long Beach.
And they failed on their 2 previous 4th down opportunities. As this is the 2nd time today that they're bringing out the chains on this side of the field. And this is going to be inches again, just like earlier. So it'll be a 4th and 1 for Long Beach in hopes of extending the drive. Now, this is the shortest 4th down. It was 4th and 2, and then 4th and long on the next possession that ended with a turnover on downs. And with Rydell and Conway and that offensive line, you hope that they can find a way to pick up a few inches and extend this drive.
Yeah, what you want to do is make sure you get everybody set, right? You don't get any pre-snap penalty here. They put Zach Olson now, it looks like, on the nose. Or they got Capani on the nose. Surprised they're not under center here.
Yeah, they're out of the gun here, which is always dangerous as they put Silva in motion. And they're going to come out throwing here. Could Conway use his legs? He needs the edge, and he's going to get there for the 1st down. So the quarterback going out wide and just finding a way.
Yeah, I think we were both surprised he was in shotgun. We were both surprised he was going to throw, but, you know, you have a senior quarterback and an athlete like Conway. You trust him, does a great job, gets the 1st down, and he gets out of bounds. So now here we go, 1st and goal from the 8.
He ran past Escher and then was able to avoid James Sullivan. A low snap. Conway going towards the corner of the end zone. He's got a man, and he got a touchdown as well. Silva, for the 2nd time today, comes through down the stretch to pull them within 1 score.
Yeah, and I think if you're Long Beach, I would kick this, and I would put myself in a position, but I think they're going for 2. So let's see what we got here.
As we look at the replay, and it was...
Beautiful ball here. Look at this.
Yep. Silva able to have plenty of distance between him and Matisse to make the grab.
Great route by Silva. He has been dynamic today.
Just one big catch after another. Whether it's in the end zone, whether it's in the middle of the field, and no surprise, he had a team-leading 42 receptions, so he and Conway clearly have chemistry. And right now their offense is staying out on the field to go for 2 here in hopes of making it 20-14, so that if you're fortunate enough to get the possession back, you can maybe go for the win as opposed to a tie situation.
So this has been a spot where Long Beach has struggled a little bit. Conway has found ways with his legs.
Silva is to the right. He's been his favorite target as Conway's got to get out of the pocket, and he stands no chance. Another sack for Garden City. It's Jack Brown, their other defensive end.
Yeah, big play for Garden City. You put yourself in a spot now, even if you give the ball back, worst case scenario, you're tied, right? Even if they're able to convert a 2-point conversion.
And it's Jake Brown, not Jack Brown, as I had the name slip, but a reminder that it's the Mad Men Player of the Game coming in at the end of this contest, specializing in traditional haircuts, hot shaves, and Beard Trims voted best barber shop on Long Island. You're invited this Thanksgiving Eve. Walk in only and walk out a gentleman, Madmen and Company.
You know, we've had great shots here all day. Our cameraman, we have Jacob, our engineer director behind me. He's got great hair. You see his hair, Lance? He should get over to Madman, maybe trim that up. This has been fun. I mean, the camera guys do an unbelievable job. You know, we're in a one touchdown game, right? A one possession game in the fourth quarter. I don't think a lot of people thought we'd be in this spot.
64-game winning streak for the Trojans. They have not lost a game since 2019, the Long Island Class II championship game, lost by a point to Lindenhurst. Since then, it has been nothing but W's for Dave Ettinger and company. Can Long Beach get a defensive stop? First, here's the squib kick, and they're going to make the Trojans have to just jump on top of it and not take any chances, as that was Costa Walsh who secured it. And with 6:11 to go, a lot of time here, Tom. They also have 3 timeouts, Long Beach, and their defense has been able to get some takeaways here in the second half, force Garden City to punt. It really has been a 180 compared to what we saw in the first 2 quarters.
This is a huge drive right now for the Garden City offense. You have to get a first down. You got to get out of your own end. And the flip side, obviously, you're Long Beach. You want to pin them, force a punt, and have half a field to drive down to tie this game.
And it's interesting, Tom, because you even pointed out to me, as Silva made the touchdown grab, Robertiello put his helmet on and was running up and down the sideline. But Ben is still in at quarterback here. There's Desiderio in motion. And they are going to give it to Ruck. And Ruck is tackled by Schimmel as he crosses the 20-yard line to make it a relatively short pickup. And you can see Ruck is just fighting through so many hits in this contest. As we see, he was looking for that left side, and after making 1 or 2 guys miss, Schimmel came in to clean it up.
Yeah, so now you got a little bit of a different backfield. You know, not a bad first down play. It's 2nd and 4. If you're Long Beach, you'll take it. You got Capani in the backfield with Anderson. They've gone to some counter stuff.
And they're going to do an inside handoff to Capani off the right side. He is going to gain the first down as they are utilizing just about every running back they have on this roster.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how many high schools can go as deep as Garden City is going right now with guys running the football. But that is a really, really big first down. Not only to get out of your end, but the clock is ticking right now. Had the Long Beach been able to kind of hold them down, they would have gotten the ball back with plenty of time. Now, if you're Long Beach, you got to start thinking about burning your timeouts. So if you do get a stop, you have enough on the clock.
We have seen Ruck, Anderson, Kupani, and Kraus all utilized out of the backfield in this game.
Garden City ball carriers, 2 hands on the ball now at all times.
And he is going to be wrapped up immediately on the exchange. Anderson on the carry. And it was Tim Miller that got his hands in the way. So just a 1-yard pickup.
Yeah, sorry, Lance. I'm saying you see Ruck coming back on the field here. He has shown incredible toughness here today. I mean, he returns, he plays defense. We saw him defending a pass down the field. You know, he's grabbing screen passes, running between the tackles. Just unbelievable effort right now by Merritt Ruck in this Garden City offense. Can they get one more first down here?
As they hand the ball off to Ruck yet again, and Rydell and him get wrapped up as still Ruck is able to fall forward on a really nice pickup on this first down run.
Yeah, that's a nice job by Ruck, getting inside, following his blockers. And then the fall forward is big, right? He was kind of stopped, and then he he gets a little push, he drives his leg, and when you fall forward like that and you're able to pick up another 2.5, 3 yards, it changes. Now you're at 3rd and 1, and there's a lot in the playbook right now for Garden City. They're at this power eye look. They've gone to some counter stuff or fullback dive.
And they're going to go inside handoff. Anderson falls forward. It's awfully close. It's all a matter of where they wind up spotting it. As the side judge came in, racing over, it looked like he was parallel to the first down marker, and he is signaling for the chains to move. The question is this officiating crew on the same page? It looks like Long Beach's coaching staff is coming out, and Scott Martin and company are saying, well, wait a minute, the ball doesn't look even with the marker. That's what they're arguing. Now, it looks like the measurement is going to have to be taken as a result here.
Yeah, I think it's worth measuring, and they were pretty animated over there last.
More than ever.
And why not? Because that would really make Garden City have to consider what to do, going for it on 4th down in their own end. So let's see. They went back to the fullback dive to Anderson. He just didn't have a clear running path. He tried to fall forward, and, not by much. My goodness. But he got it.
Remarkable. The very end and edge of a football that did it.
They say football's a game of inches, right? That's a 1-inch first down right there.
So with just over 3 minutes to go, that is the development here. And a reminder that now is your chance to score a touchdown with Varsity Media's ISO video. Video footage that focuses on your athlete only, perfect for recruiting reels. You could book for the winter season. Email jeff@varsitymedia.net for more information.
Yeah, no mystery here. Double tight, power eye. They are just going to pound this ball.
Here's Ruck. He just shoves a defender out of his way, and Schimmel takes him for a ride just shy of the midfield line. It's going to be at the 49-yard line where they'll mark him down as Ruck took yet another hard hit, and he is still down and is slow to get up.
Yeah, I think this is all these collective hits. I mean, you had the one big one we talked about in the first half where he took one right in the chops, right in the midsection, but he runs hard. He does not go down easy. He's not looking to avoid contact. What an effort today by Merritt Ruck.
As Ruck heads towards the sideline. So you're going to have Owen Anderson now and Kapani in the backfield. And Kraus is out there as well. And we're going to have a timeout taken here as Long Beach utilizes one of their remaining 3. Trailing by 8 with it being Garden City football. And this goes back to the beginning of the game when it was very hard for the Marines to stop the run game. And now Garden City tapping back into that. This defense for Long Beach is in desperation mode. They need to find a way. They're basically laying it out for them. They have no interest in throwing the football, Tom. It's all about the run.
If you're in that Long Beach defensive huddle right now, coach is talking about we're ripping at the football. The first guy stops the ball carrier. The next guys coming in are ripping and punching at the football. It's probably not enough here with a 2nd and 5 just to, get off the field. It's not going to leave you a ton of time. You really would love to get a punch out, a strip, something. And the Garden City guys coming on the field, you know what they're told. Your 2 hands on the football, wrap those arms around it. When in doubt, go down.
So they need 4 yards to move the chains. It's a busy backfield for Garden City. And they're going to go inside handoff, and Max Schimmel meets Kraus at the point of contact, and then a late flag comes in after it. And based on Garden City's reaction, this looks like it's going to go against Long Beach, an absolute killer.
You go inside handoff right here, and everything we just talked about, but watch the punch come in. There's one, there's two, and then there's probably one too many there. You can't punch and miss the ball either and just punch a player, and it looks like Miller's doing everything he could to kind of get that ball loose. Timmy Miller's an extremely tough kid, a big-time competitor. You know, that's not trying to hurt anybody. That's trying to rip the ball out, punch the ball loose. But it's going to cost Long Beach right now.
It'll be a personal foul as Miller, on that replay we just showed you, was right in front of Rydell, and you saw his hand coming in from the side, just trying to poke it loose as Rydell and Olsen got involved in it. But that was not where the penalty came in. It was Miller, for your point, punching at the football and being unsuccessful. So now this is going to give them a fresh set of downs, and you're going to move the ball deeper into Long Beach territory with under 2.5 minutes to go.
Now, they still have the 2 timeouts, so you're going to get a chance here to stop the clock a few times, but the mentality can't change. I know you just got called for a penalty. You still got to rip and pull at this ball. Remember now, Garden City's had 2 fumbles of exchanges. You know, Brendan Ben is the backup quarterback, not a ton of experience. This exchange right here in the next 2 minutes are huge.
Ruck is back in the game. And they're going to give him the football, and he has an alley. And Ruck is going to maneuver his way down to the 25-yard line. Another flag comes in as he was hit out of play. And this could very well be another personal foul or late hit against Long Beach, as Ruck is down and being attended to by the training staff as we take another glance.
Yeah, you see a little counter, great kick out block there. And then Ruck, you're going to see it right
face
here.
Mask, maybe.
Yeah,
it looked like
they grabbed the mask and pulled it. And he's got some attention to that head and neck area right now.
Ruck has been an absolute warrior in this contest. I believe it was Burns who came in with the face mask. And now that's going to be the second personal foul on this drive after Ruck had a really nice run on a fresh set of downs set up by the previous personal foul against Miller. As we see the official signaling for the face mask.
And sometimes, Lance, when you're trying to reach in there and pull on a ball, you miss the ball, and if you grab, you're grabbing away, you might grab a face mask, and it looks like that's what happened. I mean, Ruck's been through a street fight here today. I mean, he has gotten hit so much, he keeps bouncing up, and you could see him reacting on the sideline. He kind of got head whipped with that face mask.
Yeah, so his helmet is off as the training staff now attending to him. Well, it's been a game of missed opportunities, and interestingly, the way you described the penalties were misses in poking out the ball and misses in making a clean tackle and coming back to bite the Marines as they give it to Capani, as he has a short gain up the middle with Olsen trying to clear out space.
And a quick timeout, and you could see the way Capani's running that ball. He's thinking more about holding on to the ball than he is about actually getting yards, and that's smart. And you're Long Beach right now. You really got 2 plays. You got 2 plays to cause a turnover, and I'm sure in that huddle they're talking about, let's be smart, but let's keep ripping and punching and seeing what we can get.
Well, this is a game that, if it holds with this current score, the entire offseason, Long Beach is going to look back and say, we had 2 fourth down opportunities in Garden City territory. We took the ball away from them a pair of times, one on special teams, and just weren't able to punch it in. And it's probably going to bring back some of the nightmares from the regular season opener between these teams that Garden City won 31-16. Long Beach had 2 turnovers. Long Beach had number of second and third and longs that they had to endure because of penalties and mishaps. And once again, those things are overshadowing what was up to this point a very positive performance for the Marines here.
And I think another storyline here is what a testament to the coaching staff at Garden City about getting their players ready. We talked about Asaro not being here. Then Robertiello goes down. 5 or 6 different guys have run the ball. Ruck's banged up. They don't miss a beat.
As we see them with 3 different backs as they hand it out to Capani, and he absorbs more hits with Schimmel coming in to prevent a nice chunk of yardage on the ground. And we've got another Garden City player down right in front of the goal line. So the coaching staff now is going to come out. And I believe that is Kraus, number 21, based on the number on his helmet. So they are looking at him off screen as we see the Garden City players talking things over. And it goes back, Tom, to your point. You know, going in, you're without your stud running back and key defensive player in Asaro. You lose your starting quarterback relatively early in this game. And Ruck has been banged up. You had to take him off of special teams. So Baker comes in. That leads to a turnover as he bobbled a return opportunity. And now Kraus being attended to. It's just been quite the adventure and quite the journey. But one of the things that Dave Ettinger talked to us about during the week, given so many lopsided affairs that they play, the second halves of most games this season, he plays his backups. Right. So they're almost built, to your point, to, God forbid, absorb some of these injuries because it's not baptism by fire for the back end of the roster.
Yeah, he talked about how much game time that these guys have gotten. And, you know, it's tough because the stats for the starters aren't where some other guys are, but the reality is a lot of guys play, and it's helped them in a game like this. And Chase Kraus is limping off right now. He's a young man I know very well, great kid. Hate to see this. He's battled through. He had hip surgery not too long ago. I hope he's okay.
So Kraus will head to the sideline, and it will now be 3rd and 9 for Garden City. With 1:25 to go. 1 timeout left for Long Beach. Garden City in no rush here as they want to milk as much of this clock as possible with Ben under center. And now a timeout with 1:07 to go. Now that was Garden City that took that timeout because they now want to see how to approach this 3rd down. Now, let me ask you this, Tom. 3rd and 9, is this 2-down territory for them, meaning they're going to hold the offense out there for 4th down as opposed to risk anything with a short field goal? What's Dave Ettinger thinking about here?
So I was just thinking that, Lance. It's a great question. They had an extra point blocked, remember?
Yep.
Right? So you take a big risk to bring the field goal unit out. I think personally I probably run it on 4th down or run a play to try to throw to the end zone. If worst case scenario, you're going to make them drive 90 yards without a timeout to try to tie this game up. I think that's probably the safer play. I would not kick the field goal personally.
And I'm completely with you. I think another reason not to kick the field goal is, in addition to the miss you mentioned, the block. Ball gets blocked. Who knows what happens? Right. They scoop it up.
Scoop.
You get a crazy score. Why give the open field a chance to develop? So that's why this has to be approached as 2-down territory here for Garden City. As Capani is right behind Anderson, the fullback. They put Escher in motion. And they're going to pitch it out to Capani, who's looking for that edge off the right side. And he tries for a cutback lane, and he's going to be brought down into the end zone for a touchdown and a game-sealing score for the senior running back who gets into the end zone for the 4th time this season. And that is how you wrap up a Nassau County championship with some real extra effort.
Let's see, 1, 2, see how many guys hit Angelo Capani. There's a hand on him, 3, 4, there's 5 guys. What effort. What effort by Capani. You want to know how you win 64 in a row, Lance? You have guys like that, guys with huge heart who know how to win games.
I love the fact that Costa Walsh was so excited, he started celebrating before Capani even got into the end zone, as Desiderio will come in to kick the extra point. And that one sails through. 27-12, the top seed Garden City leading 3rd seed Long Beach, and a huge blow at the expense of the Marines because of the 5'8", 160 running back, Angelo Capani, using every inch of his frame to just play bumper cars with that Long Beach defense.
Yeah, I mean, I love this kid. I got a big smile on my face. He's made plays on the defense. He has a sack. He ran down Rydell down the line. He's been in there blocking, picking up first downs. And then, you know, maybe not quite as dramatic and certainly not as long as Ruck's touchdown, but that's an unbelievable run on a 3rd down. We're talking about, well, how do you handle if you get stopped? Capani says, I'm not going to get stopped, right? And, you know, credit to, look at the play call here. Everything was inside. So Long Beach is thinking inside, inside, inside. They get him outside into space. This is a really good look at it here. I mean, that's
Rydell. He's got him.
That's Miller.
Miller.
Look at the legs pumping. Oh, my goodness.
He had Rydell on his back as he launched forward into the end zone. Tremendous effort by Capani, who also scored a touchdown in the semifinal victory over East Meadow. And with under a minute to go here at Hofstra, there is going to be another Garden City celebration very shortly, as this squib kick will be fielded by Burns. And Burns is going to be tackled by guess who? Capani.
Why not? Why not?
64 straight victories is soon going to become 65. They are sitting right now at 9 straight Nassau County championships, 29 overall. So this is going to be quite the marker on multiple fronts for them. And how about Dave Ettinger in his 11th season? He's going to get his 120th victory out of 123 games. As Conway trying to allow a play to develop, and he's just going to run out of bounds as he crosses the 35-yard line.
And that Garden City will take that. You know, they're playing 4 deep right now. You know, Conway's played a great game, extending plays with his legs, throwing the ball. Silva has been unbelievable here today, catching the ball. You know, Rydell's had some big moments. But like you mentioned, Long Beach just could not break through on some of those big drives down in Garden City's end, 4th down failures.
As Conway, a dangerous pass, and it is going to be intercepted. So they get a big touchdown on the ground, and then the defense comes through to make sure that Long Beach will not have an opportunity to get on the board, and it is going to be Max Siragusa, the junior defensive back, hauling in the pick to play complimentary football for the Trojans.
Yeah, and Conway, listen, you got to throw the ball down the field. There's no time. You know it's covered. You're almost hoping one of your athletes can come up with it. Good job by Saragusa jumping that route, squeezing that ball. What an unbelievable effort here by this Garden City group. So many guys stepping up and ready to play. We talked about the experience they gained all year, but that's also practice time and preparation, making sure every guy understands their roles. They come at you with so many different formations. That's not easy to practice, and it's not easy to have that many ball carriers. And, you know, most teams, most high school teams would fold, right, when their number one player on both sides of the ball can't play. Then your quarterback goes down, who was playing outstanding, by the way, at the beginning of this game. Your backup comes in and plays really well, scrambles, gets some first downs, leads drives, and then you just find a way with Ruck and Capani and Anderson. How many big first downs by Owen Anderson on that one touchdown drive just with tough running? And that's why you've won now 65 in a row.
And that is going to be capped off with a Nassau County Championship here in Conference 2. It's 10 in a row for Garden City. It's 30th overall, 27-12, the final score as the Garden City Trojans celebrating here in Hempstead, New York at Hofstra University. They get a huge rushing touchdown from Capani and then an interception by Saragusa. Offense, defense, and even special teams showing up in the midst of this game. And Hardware coming back to the Garden City program, which improves to 11-0 this season. And you want to talk about the term adversity and being challenged and tested in a variety of different ways. They certainly experienced that even in the middle of the game when they least suspected it. And each and every member, Tom, of the roster, as you pointed out, was able to step up, deliver. It's cliche to say next man up, but I can't think of a more fitting terminology to describe what took place here for Garden City.
Yeah, next man up, but also next man up and effective. These guys are coming in the game and making plays, and, super impressed with Merritt Ruck. The beating he took today, the amount of plays he's out on the field, just a tremendous effort by him right there. I mean, so many hits. If you sell ice in Garden City, get ready. The Rucks are coming in. They need a big bag of it. He's got bruises and, all over his body. What a tough kid he is. What a game for Merritt Ruck.
Well, that's why I think the choice for our player of the game is going to be relatively easy. And that brings us to the Mad Men player of the game, none other than that man, Merritt Ruck, specializing in traditional haircuts, hot shaves, and beard trims, voted best barbershop on Long Island. You are invited this Thanksgiving Eve. Walk in only and walk out a gentleman, Madmen, and company, as Ruck had the big touchdown catch and run. And he just made one big play after another to move the chains and put the pressure back on the Long Beach defense.
Yeah, you see him here dragging three guys, getting out into space. He always seems to make that first guy miss. Such a great vision he has. And then here's the big play, an unbelievable play design, the screen. Now, normally this would be a 30, 40-yard gain, right? Here comes the pursuit, and then the rest is Ruck from the 35, the cutback, finding lanes, reading this block right here by Desiderio, and then the strength and the determination to get in. That gets you the Madmen. Does he get a haircut?
Who knows? That may work that in. Well, I think he needs ice more than a haircut, though, Tom, in fairness.
He does. And there's the Desiderio double reverse. Garden City had to pull out all the stops here today. Credit to Long Beach, who really came and fought here. Really good group of kids over there at Long Beach. They played, super hard, and they really don't need to hang their heads. I'm sure it's going to hurt a little bit, but what a special season Long Beach had this year.
And they were riding a 7-game winning streak coming into this contest, and there may not be a participation trophy, but Garden City had its back against the wall for a good portion of this game. This was a 20-12 game. The final score is not going to reflect, for people that may have seen bits and pieces of this contest, right, how highly contested this game was. 2 fourth-down opportunities in Garden City territory. You got a pair of takeaways. It was there for the taking. Unfortunately, the execution didn't match, but for a Garden City team that had outscored its previous 3 opponents, Tom, 121-0, to be within 1 possession of this team on this stage says an awful lot about Scott Martin and his program.
Absolutely. And, you know, for us in the booth, we just want to see a great game, and that's exactly what we saw. It's 20-12 with 6 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, with Long Beach kicking off with all the momentum. You know, you had half of Long Beach here today cheering, and, you know, a couple first downs, and Garden City was able to grind out of their own end. And then, unfortunately, the clock sort of turned on them, right? They had to use the first downs, a couple untimely penalties, and then the amazing run there by Angelo Capani at the end. But this is what they do at Garden City. They know how to win. They find a way to win. They don't get rattled. You know, kudos to their coaching staff, Coach Ettinger, Coach Fennell, Coach Jacovina. I'm sure I'm missing a couple guys. Just an unbelievable run. I mean, 65 in a row.
And with that, that is going to wrap up our coverage of the Conference 2 championship game, as this has been a production of Varsity Media. We want to thank our executive producer, Ben Turchin, technical director, Jacob Semkin. For Tom Rooney, I'm Lance Meadows saying so long from Hempstead, New York. The final score, Garden City 27, Long Beach 12. The Trojans are the Nassau County Section 8 Conference 2 champions for the 10th consecutive year. Have a good one.